Happy Thursday. Welcome back to another Jump Force character review today. As you recall, last episode we were talking about getting this out of the way, so I am just going to show you some lobby action for Jump Force to fill in time with the Kano avatar I've been rocking. We are talking about Dio Brando from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Now I did do the facts and everything in that, but I decided not to use that recording. However, because I was able to get Dio footage, I also was getting footage for another character who's actually coming out this Friday. Yes, you guys are getting 2 episodes this week because of all the footage of gameplay I have gotten. So let us talk about today's episode. Today we are covering, as you may know, Dio Brando from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And Fireball was helping me get some facts about Dio Brando out of the way. Unfortunately, because of the time span, I decided to redo the fact audio. So let's talk about the facts of Dio Brando. Oddly enough, this character is 120 years old. And despite that, he looks like he's not a day over 40. The reason that is because apparently he's a vampire in this series. Yeah. Apparently, a bizarre reason to have a Bizarre Adventure is your arch enemy being a vampire. He is the main antagonist of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. In case you did not know that, we're going to be covering something else about JoJo's Bizarre Adventure once we get into the gameplay for Dio Brando. And before you ask, no, he's not one of those Twilight vampires that glitter when the sun hits him just right. He's just one of those, like, cool vampires, at least according to everyone on the internet and people who watch the show. Unfortunately, I'm not that big of a fan. I don't watch JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, so Fireball once again was helping me get these facts, like the fact that he's a vampire, and also apparently he was named after a famous singer from another band. That was pretty amazing to learn that that's why he's called Dio, and also it's his last name, or something like that. I don't know exactly the full details, but what I do know is that Dio Brando's a pretty interesting character. Let's do a cut, and since we got all the facts out of the way about Dio, let's talk about his playstyle and his how he works. Okay, so Dio, before we get into the start of some of these gameplay, there's the thing you gotta know about Dio and the other character we're gonna be going over, who's from the same show. Normally I didn't want to cover the same show, but because I have enough footage, we are gonna be covering Jotaro tomorrow. Well, you'll see the Jotaro video tomorrow. I'm gonna be recording the audio right after I do this one. So let's talk about Dio. So Dio and Jotaro are very similar because they fight with their stance. For those of you who are unfamiliar with JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Dio and Jotaro have stands. And what a stand is, it's think of it kind of like your personal bodyguard that you can summon in spirit form. It basically is a great way to do some combos, and it is a great tool to have. However, one thing in the game that it didn't imply is that the stands don't actually take damage. So if you hit their stand with like some punches, it's not really going to affect them. It's more so going to be not going to really hit them because they can use the stands as a guard. So Dio and Jotaro both use their stands and their combos and all their special attacks. Now, as you can see, having some assists can help you. If you have a Kaguya assist, that would be great. But I would prefer Rukia for some of Jotaro's attacks. Well, not Jotaro, or Dio actually. You can rock a Kaguya or a Rukia and they work great. And there's his first move. It is called Useless, or the famous phrase Muda Muda. And what that is he summons his stand and does a barrage of punches. This is going to be used like during some combos for Dio and Jotaro. There are differences between the characters though. And here's his next move. Remember when we went over unblockable attacks for Zoro? Yeah, that's basically what this next move is. It is called Blend. Now, unlike Dio's vampire nature, he doesn't steal away your life. He actually steals away your skill meter. So this is great if you want to go against meter burn characters such as Pegasus or Yugi. You can use that to your advantage because not only is it unblockable, it's a semi-dash attack. However, Muda Muda does have a drawback. It can be easily blocked if you don't use it in a combo. However, you can also combo right into Blend. Dio is more of a rush down meter character, where you would use your meter for your combos, as well as rushing your opponent down. But for Dio, he plays differently than Jotaro. Dio is more focused on damage. So the more damage you can dish out, the more punishment you will be able to do. His final move is Checkmate, which is good if you want to do a combo. or have a good range attack. It is a pretty decent range attack. It's not the greatest, but it will suffice you if you need a little bit of support. As for his ultimate right here, this is called the World. It is a time-stopping ult, but it is one of the fastest dash attacks in the game. The way I would use Dillon's ult is either during a combo, or one of my favorite things to do is just catch your opponent off guard where they're going for a powerful attack. Or if they are getting ready to, or if they just fully awaken. This way you can get in there fast, hit them as hard as you can, and do some insane amount of damage. Blend, however, is going to be your biggest worry if you are fighting against Dillon, because of the fact it is unblockable. There are plenty of weaknesses to Dillon besides the fact that, you know, most of his attacks are blockable. You have to, using support is also a little bit of a key for nailing some of those great combos with Dillon Brando. However, there are characters that actually counter Dillon and Jotaro because of their rushdown style. If you have a real Saba, for instance, that is really good. Or if I can pull up the clip right now of the Gaara match I did a random match and I got stuck with Gaara, and from my experience, when I was using Gaara, I had a whole lot of an easier time stopping Dillon's momentum against Fireball. For whatever reason, I don't play Gaara, but for some reason when I was Gaara, I was able to get that easy amount of being able to stop his momentum. Sure, he goes into like this insane combo with his support, but I surprisingly only had issues when I switched off of Gaara into like Kenshin and Sabo. When I was Gaara, I had such an easy time against the Dillon player. Which is insane because Gaara, as we'll talk about, isn't the greatest for combos, but his range and stalling ability are really good against the Dillon player. Because you have to worry about when they're going to hit their range, when they're going to hit their sand burial, and it's great if you have a character like Kenshin as well. There are just too many weaknesses. I used to think Dillon was one of the best characters, but after going over everything about him, unfortunately he's not one of the best characters anymore because there are so many characters who can counter him because of their ability to knock you back and get rid of your momentum. If I were to rate Dillon on a scale of 1 to 10 now, I would have to give him a 6, actually. Yes, he does a lot of damage at a bunch of good ranges, but if you miss one attack, you can capitalize against fellow Dillon players by going into an ultimate, by hitting them with an attack with knockback. And what's crazy is that it doesn't have to be a good range character user. You can be decent with Rio or even decent with Gaara, and you'll have an easy time against a Dillon player. I've just noticed too many weaknesses with Dillon, and I really used to think he was better. Yes, I think he is better than Jotaro, as we will get to with the Jotaro episode for damage, but not for speed. That was my review of Dillon Brando and Jump Force. Let me know, guys, who you want next, and let me know. Do you use Dillon at all? Do you think he's one of the best, or do you think he's just about, you know, average nowadays? Thank you, folks, for watching this episode, and tomorrow we are going to be covering Jotaro Kujo from the same show, because I have all that footage. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.